The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Okay, Bert Kreischer tickets coming up now at 9 o'clock. I said last hour, a little bit loopy here getting in the weekend. Need this weekend, man. Need to go, crash out for a little bit. So, 9 a.m., we'll have those Bert Kreischer tickets for the United Center. Bert, the machine at the Madhouse. Stay here with us. Now, tomorrow night, you have to turn your clocks forward. Throw them forward. Now, I know your phone for the most part. Some people, that's all they have, but microwave, oven.
Yeah.
I have an old school alarm clock just in case my phone doesn't work in the morning because I get up at 3.
Your alarm? Oh, your phone alarm. Yeah.
I have the clock from my high school. It's the one with kind of like wooden paneling around it.
I had the same one until recently. That's so funny.
Mine still works.
Yep. Mine did too. I just gave it to my neighbor because they needed a clock. But yeah, that's
What a nice person.
Why'd you give that away, Kara?
because it was elderly neighbors, and I knew they'd appreciate the non-technological advances of it. And I was right. They loved it.
Wow.
Does yours play like AM radio when it goes off? Does it just hit Peter Frampton in the morning?
Or like Sonny and Cher.
Yeah. I imagine you wake up and your bedroom all of a sudden becomes like 1972 real quick.
Oh my God. So there's like the clock is trapped in a black hole?
Dude,
Yeah.
you've evolved. The clock hasn't.
The clock goes on and goes like, we've landed on the moon.
The space race has been won.
It's also 3 a.m. Okay, I'm good now. That would be incredible. That would be incredible.
That'd be a nice way to wake up, actually.
It certainly would. But there's 4 other things you should do tomorrow night in case you don't know this, and it's for your safety, for your comfort, for your joy of 2024, besides losing an hour on the clock. You should also change the batteries in your smoke alarm. Because you think, why? Well, because you always forget to do that until they're beeping in the middle of the night going like, change alarm.
Does yours talk?
Mine talks like that. We have 3 of them.
Does it really?
Yeah, it has this weird like AI-sounding voice going, change the alarm.
When there's a fire, does it go, there is a fire?
No, I don't know why. We haven't had one, so I don't know.
What does it do?
It goes, change the battery. It does that. And you know what's wild? Is they all fail at the same time. Like I change the batteries at the same time.
Because you change them at the same time.
I know, but to the minute, they all start going off. And I'm like, this is wild.
Yeah.
So change your batteries in your smoke alarm. Do that tonight, or tomorrow night, I should say. You should also clean out your fridge, pantry, and medicine cabinet. Throw away old meds. Don't go sell them. Just throw them away. Don't flush them either, by the way. People like flushing old medicine. That gets in all of our water supply.
Oh, no.
I don't want
that.
your medicine in my water.
Especially expired medicine on top of it.
Yeah.
But how much old medicine do you have?
Some people, we have probably like 6-7 bottles of stuff.
Now that I think about it, I guess I don't have medicine in my house.
Yeah. Even over-the-counter stuff. You don't have like aspirin or...
I have a bottle of ibuprofen that sits on my desk. I take about 2 a day. Just makes me feel better.
Those do expire eventually.
Whoa. You take 2 ibuprofen a day no matter what?
Yeah.
You shouldn't do that.
No,
Why
it can't be
not?
good for your stomach.
No.
Why not?
Is
It's
there
good, but it's medicine.
You're not sick.
Well, I don't feel good all the time.
Could be because you're taking ibuprofen every day.
That's right. Your stomach lining, you're not going to be able to eat like Popeye soon.
No, ibuprofen makes you feel better.
Only if you're sick. Or ibuprofen's for like pain and fevers and stuff like
But
that,
I'm
right?
constantly in pain.
Well, that's another problem. Stop working on a Planet Fitness. You'll be fine. So don't flush anything. Just throw it away. Do that. Oh, you should also flip your mattress because people always forget to do that.
Or at least rotate it. Some mattresses don't flip.
There's a confusing thing where you're supposed to flip it and spin it.
Yeah.
and reverse it?
Yeah, flip it, reverse it. I don't know, because then your feet part should be. You gotta get away from the head and the other and the left and right.
What are you confused about?
It just seems like a lot. Why haven't we figured that mattress has gotten better? When you can buy like there's mattresses that cost like $5,000.
I know. It's crazy.
Whatever happened to like the $200 mattress?
They still make them. You just can't lie on them.
Yeah. So do that. And finally, this one's kind of surprising. So you put the clock forward on Saturday night. So change the batteries and smoke alarm. Flip the mattress. Clean out the fridge, pantry of old food and medicine. And then restock your emergency kit. Now, we don't have an emergency kit in our house.
Nor do we. We have candles and flashlights, but I wouldn't call it a kit. They're just...
Well, Casey, you got anything in your house?
I don't have anything, period.
Yeah.
I live in a blank apartment.
I just picture if there's an emergency, you put your blanket over your head. I just hope everything gets okay. please don't. Please stop, please.
I don't have the survival instinct. I don't know what the emergency is, but I know I'm not going to handle it well.
Kara, the other night when those thunderstorms were happening really bad last week, he texted me and goes, I'm scared.
Oh, my goodness.
No. Don't make fun of me for that. It was awful outside.
It was really bad. There was hail coming against the window.
And I also, my apartment has a giant glass sliding door. That's the window. It's just glass on one side of my apartment. I was very scared.
Was the hail hitting it?
Yes, it was, Kara, and there's nothing wrong with that. And God forbid I consoling a friend. Put me on blast on a radio show. Thanks, Brian.
Well, I showed Megan, my wife, first. They took it out. He's scared down there. He thought the movie The Day After Tomorrow was going to happen, where the big wave comes off Lake Michigan and just takes down like the Hancock building.
It was really scary.
It was
outside.
a bad storm.
I should not have to apologize nor feel bad for that.
Do you have any animals?
Well, my girlfriend and I share a dog, but the dog lives at her place.
I was going to say, because they were scared.
Yes.
You should be
they
consoling
were.
your animals.
I know. Well, I am
They should
somewhat
be consoling
of an animal.
you.
I'm somewhat of an animal. They should be consoling me.
Well, now we know. So you should have an emergency kit in your house. And I don't know what they are, like in the house.
Like a can opener for cans of food?
Well, I went to Granger.com. Love that store, by the way. And they have emergency kits there. This one's like $46. There's one for $17, but if you're going to get an emergency kit, you better just go all out and get a $46 one. Here's what's got in it. A 2,400-calorie food bar.
Wow.
That sounds nice.
That's your daily intake of calories. I want to try that bar. I don't need an emergency for that.
Yeah.
It's got to be delicious, right?
Well, what flavor is it?
It doesn't say. Let's see here. What is?
God, I hope it's blueberry.
I don't know if it's a berry at all. I don't know.
What kind of a thing is 20? That's a lot. That's more than a Big Mac.
Yeah.
They should put a Big Mac in the box instead.
Hell yeah.
They should.
Damn. Okay. It doesn't show exactly what the bar is, but I want to try it. Also, 4-ounce water pouches. They sell water pouches. If water doesn't work, let's say.
Why not just some water bottles? Why does it have to be a little pouch?
I think it fits better in the pack.
Okay.
Yeah, the box can only be so big.
Right.
An emergency blanket.
That's nice.
I guess that sounds nice to try too. A 12-hour emergency light stick.
Okay.
Got that in there.
You need that.
What, like a rave?
Doochies. Well, you don't have electricity, so you have to do that with your mouth.
Yeah.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101. We'll have the weekend Q101 coming up in about 15 minutes, 9:30. Everything going on in and around Chicago this weekend, whether it's music, movies, festivals, some free stuff. Some people say, there's nothing going on. Well, there's a lot going on. And we'll get that to you coming up at 9:30. Also wanted to mention this happened right when the show kind of started, or at least at that point of me and Case talking before Kara got here, that Akira Toriyama died at the age of 68. Now, he was one of the most influential and best-selling manga authors of all time. So Dragon Ball. Now, it's funny because I know some of this world, but obviously I'm not into it as much as I'm sure a lot of our listeners, because the passion that a lot of people checked in on and saying, you've got to mention that he passed away.
Oh.
I remember Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize that was a spinoff of Dragon Ball, the original cartoon, and then the video game series. And we're talking billions and billions of views and streams and purchases of this guy's media, of what he created. And it's a lot of our listeners, I know, are for sure into that stuff and the style and everything.
Yeah, for as much as I enjoy Japanese culture, i.e. the professional wrestling and the baseball and the food and also the manners that they have, it just seems like a very good place. This is not necessarily my wheelhouse, but I've been taken aback all morning on our text line and on my social media feed how affected people are by this. It's been very interesting to see.
Were your kids on any of this stuff, Kara?
I don't know. I'll have to ask them. I don't bother my kids when they're gaming.
That's good policy. Thank you.
Sad because he was only 68 and it was a blood clot situation. And again, we've gotten hitting up all morning long. And the passion from our listeners on Dragon Ball is incredible. Like I said, I remember Dragon Ball Z, and I get you get in this world, you start watching stuff, and you get into it. The anime.
It's 10:30 at night. Cartoon Network is on, and they're showing Dragon Ball Z, and the bright colors. And you go, wait, well, hold on, what's this?
Okay.
This is good stuff.
And then you're kind of like, this is awesome.
Now I've seen it. Now that you say that, I have seen it.
Exactly. Yeah. This is the show for grown-ups. Actually, I like this quite a bit.
You've been having wine on the couch before, Kara, and also Dragon Ball Z.
Yep.
It is incredible how many people he reached. And when you think about something that came from the brain of one guy, and all the spin-offs. He was actually still working, and they say he's got tons of unfinished material.
Oh.
So I don't know what'll happen there because obviously it was a surprise and it wasn't an expected situation. So Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball creator Akira Toriyama died at the age of 68, and we honor him because our listeners are all into it, and we like it too.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.
Little No Doubt on International Women's Day. Or is it National Women's Day?
I think it's international,
Women's Day.
I think.
Yeah, international. Why
Yeah.
not? Well, it should be everybody, so
Right.
why not? Bring them all in. Shout out to my wife, Megan, my baby, Harper,
Yep.
and my mom, Gloria,
Yes.
and Kara.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I was waiting.
Yeah, shout out there for all the women out there.
I'm sure the women appreciate your shout out.
Well, what am I supposed to do otherwise? I mean, women, I love you. How about that? I mean, shout out, is that inappropriate? So women, I love you out there. You're working real hard, and you're doing it all. And you're looking good, too. Well done.
That's nice, Brian.
Thanks, Brian.
Yeah. I don't know. I just talked my way into a corner here, didn't I?
I did.
All right, let's get to the Weekend Q101. The Weekend Q101 stuff going on in and around Chicagoland. You may not be aware of it, so we give it to you no matter where you're hearing us, whether it's Rensselaer, Indiana, all the way to Kenosha, out to Iowa. You know, on the app, you can listen to us anywhere, so we can't give you Iowa events, just in our little listening area over the regular radio. So Kay starts with the music. What do you got?
Bouncing Souls, the New Jersey punk band. They're in town for 3 shows this weekend. Tonight at the Epiphany Center for the Arts for an acoustic show.
Really?
Yes, Saturday, Sunday at the Bottom Lounge, plugged in. Good old-fashioned Bouncing Souls fun there.
I'm all for the acoustic thing, but I would go to the bottom. I want to see them electric. They are ridiculous
Yes.
live.
Yeah, tickets still available for that. You can get those tickets at the riotfest.org website. Q101 presents The Moss at Lincoln Hall tonight. They have a song called Insomnia that I thought was one of the best songs released in 2023. The Strokes and Beach Bunny, they're at Credit Union 1 Arena tonight. Tickets still available for that.
the old UIC Pavilion.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much so. Blue October's at the Riv tomorrow. And then I want to mention this artist, Harrison Gordon, who is playing the Beat Kitchen tonight. I will be there. Think early Taking Back Sunday. It's a band, but the front man is Harrison Gordon. He's the one that leads the band. I am so excited about these guys. One of my favorite new bands going right now. They sold out the Beat Kitchen. They'll be playing much bigger venues in the near future. But very, very much emo. Think, again, early Taking Back Sunday. I'll be there at the Beat Kitchen tonight. If you're there, say hi. I am jacked up for that show.
Yeah, my daughter's excited about that one, too.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
I knew I liked her.
Yeah.
And if you like a band like that, the Beat Kitchen is a great place to see a band before they get to bigger venues.
Yeah.
Cool bar up front. We did our Beach Bunny album release party there.
That's right.
And they
That's
performed
right.
live in the back room, and it was wild.
That was a good time.
That was a great time. So, yeah, that's what's going on.
And
from
a
that.
bunch of good music, and I hear Kara has music news as well.
I do. One of my favorite bands from the 90s was Material Issue. Were you a fan?
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, such a great Chicago band.
Yeah.
So they're kind of back. Well, actually, so they came back about 10, 15 years ago as Material Reissue.
That's funny.
With the same two guys,
great. That's
Ted
great.
Ancidi and Mike Zelenko, and Phil Angotti, who's friends with the late lead singer Jim
Right.
Ellison. So, and most people know Phil in Chicago is like a Beatles dude because he does a lot of great Beatles shows. He does all kinds of stuff everywhere. But anyway, this is actually a Bob Dylan show, which, you know, it's weird because Phil has a great singing voice. So I don't know how he's going to do Dylan songs, but this is interesting. It's in Forest Park at this new bar, Roberts West Side.
Okay.
So that does live music there in Forest Park.
Right on.
Yeah, and a couple days ago, remember that guy who won Alkaline Trio tickets from us?
That's right.
Oh, and trivia.
Class with
Yeah,
Kenzie,
Nick,
yes.
his 3 bands, don't forget, are playing at Montrose Saloon, and you said you would go, Brian, and play guitar with him
I did.
to Eruption. Yeah,
I did say
you
that.
did.
Here's the rub. Okay, here's the rub. It's not far from my house.
Yeah.
It's walkable.
The Montrose. It's not walkable. It's drivable. It's busable.
Yeah.
The Montrose Saloon. But my in-laws are at this point driving from Philadelphia. They're probably 6 hours into the drive. They left at 3 in the morning. They're going to get here around dinner time. And I actually got offered to go see the Eagles tonight at United Center, too, which is not something I would buy, but I would
Right.
go.
Yeah, you always say yes.
And I know my in-laws would love to go see the Eagles. So I couldn't do that because I said if they came in and go, okay, I'm leaving, I'm going to see the Eagles. And then say, well, we want to go. Where's our tickets?
Yeah.
You know, Brian, son-in-law, you work in the radio. Can't you get us tickets?
Right.
Like, I can't. They're expensive. So now if they show up at 6 at dinner time and I say I'm going to the Montrose Saloon to see Nick's 3 bands,
But they can go with you.
they will absolutely want to go too.
Yeah.
And Nick didn't put me on the guest list, I don't think. I don't know,
No, he said if you show up, he'll let you play Eruption. He'll let you do a guitar solo.
But I haven't been practicing, so I feel like I'm not ready to go. Like, I get very OCD. Like, I want to
Okay.
practice, and I can't practice because I got to clean our bathrooms today. This
That
happened.
sounds much better than going to Montrose Saloon.
I have to go do that before the in-laws come, and they're staying at our apartment. So there's a lot going on in my head here, as you can see. Nick, I will try to make the third band you're in later at Montrose Saloon tonight.
Is your weekend Q101 that you're cleaning the bathrooms this weekend?
No, I'm actually home. I was out of town last weekend, so I'm excited because Wrigley Field, St. Patrick's Day at Gallagher Way is Sunday, and we're taking Harper over there. So they celebrate St. Patrick's Day a week early, a lot of family-friendly activities, live performances by the Trinity Irish Dance Company, which, fun fact, my brother Steve, who's an orthopedic surgeon, foot and ankle, he used to be their doctor because those girls are always hurting their ankles because the way that, that dancing, they're world champions.
Yeah.
They beat the people in Ireland.
Wow.
I mean, they're unbelievable. The Trinity Irish Dance Company, also the Shannon Rovers Irish Pipe Band, Old Town School of Folk, where I'm going to take some guitar lessons, by the way, soon. Some more of those.
Are you taking songwriting lessons there, too?
Yes, I already can play guitar, but I'm going to take some kind of songwriting lesson there.
Because your goal is to write a hit song by the end of 2024.
That's my goal.
Okay. I believe you can do it.
I don't think you do.
I don't think you can, Kara.
Well, the Weekend Q101 case is a blog up with all this stuff and more at Q101.com, links and everything. So check it out right now. Q101.com, the Weekend Q101 blog.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
You really can. You can do anything you set your mind to. Thanks, Em. Appreciate you. I mean, you might not make it, but,
Jeez. Waiting for the shoe to drop on Brian's motivational speech.
Well, you just got to try. And not everybody's going to make it. But if you don't try, you'll never know.
Exactly.
So you got to try.
Do it. You probably won't, but you could.
Yeah, that's my motive. I'm a real motivational speaker.
Oh, yeah? Is that your thing now?
Yeah, I don't do this false stuff of, manifest that it'll happen. Well, maybe not. It won't necessarily for real happen, but at least you got to try. Otherwise, you won't know.
If you work hard, take a lot of naps, you too could have your own morning show on Q101.
Look at this. It happened. Took a few naps, not a lot. All right, here we go. Lauren's in here, and we'll find out what she's got coming up in a second. First, we'll get to our takeaways of the week at 312-591-8300. Case, what do you got?
224 checked in, a first-time texter, which we always love to see. What I've learned, if you're scared of the weather, take ibuprofen.
That's right. Facts.
Well said.
2 a day, dude. You got to stop.
Oh,
Yeah.
fine. All right.
That's what 90-year-old women do.
Yeah, well, I'm not much different. My boobs sag, too.
Oh, that's too bad.
That's not true.
That's a shame. Kara, what do you got?
Trucker Mike says, now there are 2 things you can do when you drive to Philadelphia, the Michael Jackson Oasis in Gary, and go to Cedar Point to see what nationality is not riding roller coasters.
Yeah, question, Lauren. Are you white?
What?
You're white, right?
That was literally how he greeted me today.
Yes.
If you didn't listen to the 6 o'clock hour, boy, you should take a look back at the podcast.
Yeah.
I'm going to save my takeaway for the end before we go into the break here. But first, so Case, what is coming up on the podcast?
Well, we talked about what nationalities ride roller coasters. It was the entire 6 o'clock hour, and it was a delightful conversation.
And it started with a great Hispanic guy who said, I'm Hispanic, I don't get my Mexican ass on a roller coaster.
That's right. Turns out a lot of people agree with him.
It was wild.
I'm with him.
Of course, Clash with Kenzie today. We learned that our contestant named her son after a band that you would never expect a child to be named after.
Yeah.
Don't say it, Kara.
Delightful conversation there. And then also, Kenzie checked in, and we learned that her baby is haunted and that things are not going well in her house right now.
Yeah.
So, a real eventful day for Brian and Kenzie.
So we don't know when she'll be back. She might be trapped in a vortex somewhere.
It's unfortunate. I love her to death.
Yeah.
You know?
Can I clarify that Kenzie is fine? She's just a little sleep deprived, and that's what happens when you have a month-old baby. Her house is not haunted. The baby's not haunted.
A baby seems haunted.
She'll get right when that kid sleeps more than 3 hours in a row.
Well, it can't because it's haunted.
So basically, your cure to possession, like in The Exorcist, is sleep.
Couple naps.
Couple
to 3
naps.
You'll be fine.
See, if you nap, you can do anything you want. Lauren, what do you got coming up on your show?
Well, it's a big day today because it's International Women's Day.
I meant to include you with my wife, Megan, my baby Harper, my mom, Gloria, Kara, and then Lauren.
For what?
for International Women's Day.
And all the other women include me into what? That I'm a woman?
He was giving them shout-outs
I never
earlier.
know.
You guys are on my Mount Rushmore, and to your thought process, we can add 5. I'm putting you on there. How about that? That's my Mount Rushmore of women.
I appreciate that. I'm honored.
I got you.
I don't have a speech ready or anything. But coming up later on my show,
Yes.
I'm playing nothing but the women who make Q101, starting at noon, going until it needs to go.
Okay.
I may get in trouble, but that's what I'm doing.
Oh, you're doing one of those close the door things that's going to do it.
I really want to amplify the amazing women that we are fortunate enough to play on this radio station every day, but really put the focus and the spotlight on them, hear from them in their own voices. It's going to be amazing.
Who are some of those women we're going to hear?
Today?
Yeah.
Give us a
Spoiler
little
alerts?
tease. Yeah. Couple of them. Not all of them, just a couple.
Okay.
Will I hear cannons?
You will not hear cannons today because Michelle will be joining me next week.
Wonderful.
So we will spotlight
Wonderful.
cannons next week.
Will
Okay.
I hear the cranberries?
You might.
Okay.
What about Celebrity Skin Hole?
You might.
Oh,
Also,
okay.
I might be waiting for Courtney Love. She might also be joining me for a spotlight feature. We're doing this the entire month of March. So every day at noon,
Okay.
we're spotlighting and celebrating the women who make Q101. The difference today is that it's just going to keep going
Until you get in trouble.
until I get in trouble.
You know who's going to try to stop you?
Nobody?
Men. A-holes.
Patriarchy!
Damn men. Speaking of men that are the good ones, the double features, this would be my final takeaway of the show coming from them, since we talked yesterday about a wonderful conversation about bringing Michael Jackson from California to Gary and suspending him over the highway, the tollway, in carbonite like Han Solo as a tribute to him. That's where he should be. They wrote a song about it, and here we finished with this.
I'm stuck in carbonite on the freeway. A floating casket as it drive this way. Come see me, they just built us a bomb. If you're gonna make a stop, this is the place. Take a land to slice and make a change.
That's our guys, the double features. Have a stellar weekend.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.